Ladies and gentlemen, so let's begin our first session of the day. And for our first session, which is on 2021 to 2030, the entire decade of home. How will the jewelry consumption trends transform in future? And how should manufacturers, retailers, and jewelry designers collaborate to enhance consumer experience? To do the honors towards the beginning and by the blessings of divine love, may we please invite Mr. Amit Dhamani, the Group CEO of Dhamani Jewels, on stage for your presentation. So happy to see you here again, sir. So delighted, and I'm all charged up. And trust me, I'm going to truly thank you for your beautiful collection as well. Thank you, Mr. Amit.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure and delight, first of all, to see all our industry leaders in one room, physical in presence after, I don't know, everybody gone through hundreds of Zooms and which we saw each other. So welcome everybody for the first in-person event for our industry. You know, I always get energized and see the spirit Samit and Soma has. Samit, where are you? Raise a hand. All right, back there. So Samit and we go back long days when he was on his stint at Damas, I think more than 20 years. And certainly there was a spark in this guy. In whatever he's doing, you know, he's that smiling, warm and charming person. He comes up to you, talks ideas. And looking back, I remember that's what I think a personality trait is, something very important in the industry. And I think that's a very interesting learning, that whatever segment you are in or whatever role you are in, if you have a certain kind of personality of this personalization, and I think this is what I'm here today as more as a friend to him. He just picks up an email and you know, I've always made sure that he and Soma has that liberty to put me in spot anytime. He sent me a message, Amit bhai, you are moderating this session and that session. I said, Amit, you didn't check I'm in town or not? He said, I checked you're in town. I said, all right. So today my role is more as a moderator. And the session which to start it was certainly very thought-provoking, that how will jewelry consumption trends transform in future, and how jewelry designers, manufacturers, and retailers should collaborate to enhance consumer experience. And interestingly, we have an amazing panel of people who will be joining later on the stage. But just to give a quick background, what we are looking at is a wide diversity for this segment. We have Tamjid Abdullah. Tamjid bhai, as we say, has been leaders with Abdullah brothers in really transforming the landscape of jewelry industry in Dubai. I remember coming to Dubai first time with my dad in '91, going to their office in Dera Gold Souk about Matrushi, and the energy they had. And I can tell you they have more energy today. When I meet the brothers now, you know, I go to see them, they're in the office 8:30 in the morning, and 178 stores, Tamjid bhai, congratulations, Jawhara. The second inning of another amazing growth story. And more interestingly, we will hear later on the panel, when everybody was trying to shrink down and close, you were the first one to the landlord and asking the locations. Even landlords, I remember one in Abu Dhabi called and asked, listen, what are you doing? Are you sure? Because people are closing your opening. And I think we'll hear from you. We have Maha Al Sibai, our own homegrown fine jewelry designer based in Wafi, and we'll hear from her how personalization of jewelry and brick and mortar works. We have Motaz Al Shueibi. I think Salem Al Shueibi in this region is very, very familiar name from 50 years. And Motaz, it's such a delight to see you again, like I went met 91 Abdullah brothers. Abu Dhabi, there was only one customer I knew was Salem Al Shueibi. And since those days, I think your dad was not so fluent in English, but his spirit of business was there. He said, oh, you are from Bangkok, bring me stones, bring me this. So certainly very interesting to see the next generation, and you're more than 10 years in business. We have Tamara, our young millennial direction of design and jeweler. And very interestingly, Tamara will bring the aspect how she started online first and actually reverse engineered to go brick and mortars. Because many times we get caught up and think only digital or brick and mortar is not there and, you know, online is a thing. I think Tamara will give us some interesting insights and learnings that how digital sometimes is not everything. There could be mix of both or one of the others. And last but not the least, we have amazing Colin by Shah. Where is Colin by? Just wave of hand. All right, you're here. So I don't know which role I should introduce on, but certainly I would to introduce first on the role of the chairman of Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. It's an honor to know you. We know each other for more than 20 years. And you are leading this amazing organization with 7,000 members in India, across India. The growth story of Indian gem and jewelry industry, GJPC has a very, very big role to play. So certainly we'll hear from Colin Bhai that how they look at this aspect as GJPC. And other than that, he is running an amazing business and brand, Kamaschachter, more than 20 years, B2B jewelry manufacturing to big retailers in the United States and different places. So that is my panel, which I'm very proud of, and all the stars and superstars will be coming. But I said, before I do that, let me have a quick 3 to 5 minutes background, what we are talking, and give some insight from my side as Dhamani and also as a person, what I feel. Wow. And I was asking Amit, when I write once upon a time, should I make people unhappy, upset? I'm not saying it cannot come back, but I'm just saying this is 2019. 2019, we were also in this room and we were discussing everything to do with mostly brick and mortars and some digital, like Tamjid and we discussed, okay, some digital because we are digitally shy, slow to change and all that, because we had this kind of business. Maybe this is a Diwali day, it's an overwhelming crowd, but this was kind of business once upon a time. We were used to this kind of a business. All of our strategy, policies, processes were under the expectation. Great stores, great physical environment, hundreds of customers coming in, touching and feeling jewelry, buying, and fantastic. I think we as industry have done very well. And that is only 2019. And then, oh my God. When it started in December, not anybody else, I thought it's something to do with China, I swear. I thought it is a virus like SARS. It will happen somewhere that part of the world. And like SARS finished in few months, it will be finished. We will be not touched because, they will take whatever precautions. But global disruption is something which we all saw unprecedented. And I think our industry is minuscule in terms of global economies. But we were on a biggest shock because we were used to the earlier picture. While other companies, other industries, other countries were already digital savvy. Already you were speaking in the United States, a lot of commercial jewelry or below price point jewelry were selling online, were selling digital, but we were not. So we were forced, but I think we as industry adapted well, and we transformed. And we said, what we have to do to change immediately so we have cash coming in. And people started doing different things and learning from each other. I think Zoom is the first thing happened, adaptation of online and digital. And through Zoom, people went to understand what other jewelers are doing. Somebody started doing video calling, sending pictures to their clients, showing them videos, private brochures, e-brochures, e-catalogs, online sales, or online digital selling. So everybody in their own way or might or strength tried and applied. And I just remember a quote from head of Tanish. Samit, they sold from TV, the WhatsApp video, how much, 400 crores? I don't know what. 100 crores. So Tanish sold only through their video messaging 100 crore, which is about $15–20 million of jewelry just by sending video images to their own customers. So just giving you an idea of magnitude what people are doing during this all scenario. So this is where we are. Everybody's trying to do it better. Somebody's doing sending jewelry, private gloves, so on and so forth. So this is where we stand today. I would like to show an interesting video. Oh, sorry. This is an image, a graphic image and a video which will show now of a future general retail. It's not about jewelry. And then I will invite our panelists to come on platform, on the stages. This is what people are thinking a general retail will look like and how we think we are adapting as our industry. right, so I think not very dramatic, but this can be a convenience store, an electronic store, or so on and so forth. We are not saying this is a jewelry store, but if that is the environment what people are imagining, we'd certainly like to hear from our esteemed panel what they think about the future of industry. So with my all pleasure and delight, I'd like to invite panel on the stage, please. Tamjid bhai, Colin, Maha, Tamara, and Motaz. Please welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, please continue the applause as we welcome our Deputy CEO, Jawhara Jewellery, Mr. Tamjid Abdullah. A wholehearty welcome to you. The very gorgeous Miss Maha Al Sibai, founder and jewellery designer, Maha Al Sibai Jewellery. A wholehearty welcome to you. And yet another supremely gorgeous Miss Tamara Al Shamari, the founder and jewellery designer, TAAIA Jewellery. Dr. Motaz Al Shueibi, the owner of Salem Al Shueibi. A wholehearty welcome to you, sir. And Mr. Colin Shah, the founder and managing director of Kamaschachter. Ladies and gentlemen, 2021 is extremely unique, and I'll keep telling you what is special for our second edition, that we have more of women dignitaries with us. So thank you so much to both the beautiful ladies, and Assalamu alaikum to sirs. Thank you so much. Mr. Amit, over to you.
Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you. So for the sake of attendees, we will take this in two separate areas. First, we will request everybody to give their input in terms of how they feel the jewelry consumption or trends, which looks like from now to next 10 years. And then second part of the session will be how they feel the jewelry manufacturers, designers, and producers should collaborate to see this future, whatever you're imagining. So I would like to start with Tamjid bhai, with his thoughts and ideas on this subject.
It's working? Yeah. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all very much for being with us here. Again, the biggest thanks to Mr. Samit Batta, who made this happen in reality, especially in this time of pandemic, which I think we are slowly getting over it, inshallah ta'ala. Now, without any doubt, the impact, I would say, last year on the industry, since the beginning of the pandemic and the panic that people have gone through, definitely has affected the business, affected the mentality of how to conduct the business. It enhanced a lot the social media communication or interaction with the clients, which was very, I would say, positive in a certain way. Like Mr. Amit kindly mentioned earlier, one of our legends, the Danish Jewellery, did some huge business of sending videos online to clients, and etc. Now, beyond any doubt, every shock of life, the first, let's say, few days, weeks, or months, has a strong impact. Now, people, I would say, here in our region, have adapted to the system, have adapted to the new type of living, new method of living, where we have the mask, social distancing. So I would say the compliance that we have from the public here is absolutely amazing. It has definitely helped the mode of reducing the effects of the COVID for our people, our public. At the same time, it has given us also space to conduct business as used to do in the past, not in the same volume, I would say, but it has started initially to build up slowly to get to a better business, we see this year, and I see it also for the future. Now, the impact or the online shopping, I would say it could be very helpful in so many other industries, but the way I see jewelry, I was talking to Tamara earlier, God bless her, she said a very nice statement, she said, jewelry is something very personal. It represents me, my mood, my personality, my whatever, so it's something very close to the woman. So today I see the jewelry business is going to be ongoing. Maybe the conduct of doing the business will change or the philosophy will change slowly, but it will always be there. At the same time, today, this pandemic, I would say like Mrs. Maha said, the bad good. So it has given us some new creativity on how to conduct our business in different methodology, in different modes. So again, it has also inspired us to see what the people sitting at home, or the youngsters or the millennials, what are they looking for? We have a very old Arabic saying. It says, jewelry, I'll say it in Arabic, try to translate it in English, ذهب زينة وخزينة, which jewelry is something to wear and show off with. At the same time, it's something you save for the next generation, and it's ongoing for ever. So the competition we have basically is from probably other industries, electronics, perfumes, brands, whatever. But again, I still say jewelry will always maintain its prestige, its value, and its luster. Jewelry is jewelry. You cannot change that.
Thank you, Tamjid bhai. Over to you, Maha. What are your thoughts in terms of the trend of consumption of jewelry now, and what are the trends you are seeing in upcoming 10 years with what has happened post-COVID, or as COVID has struck? We are in COVID scenario.
Okay, the way I see it developing is when we had this pandemic, the platform of the digital, pages like Instagram and other pages give us a chance to show our products. And if I want to look at it in reality, there was not very strong sales that are coming from the digital platform. But what we noticed in the shop, that we have new faces visiting us through what they saw on the platform. And the sales that was made by digital platforms was in the range of, let's say, $500 to $1,000. So if we want to focus on what we want to show on this platform, is the range of that. So the way I see it, since the new generation is more using the digital, purchasing, so they are going to focus on this category, and accordingly we are going to focus on what they need, as in, designs. So we will still use the platform to show our high-end jewelry and big pieces, but it will still, the relation between the consumer and the piece of art is still physical. So they will still come and visit the shop and see it, touch it, fall in love with it, make, the first, feeling about it. This is the way I see it, and still, as Mr. Tamjid said, the relation between woman and jewelry is historical, and it will go on. So it will always stay there, even if we are talking about a luxury item. And in pandemics and wars and whatever, luxury is not a need for living. It will always stay as a dream. But history shows that it will always be there. So we are going to do our designs accordingly to what is happening. So at the moment, we are focusing on the small pieces because there are no parties, no big parties. And so the very high-end jewelry is not a need, especially, as I said, on the platform, on the digital platform.
So I think everybody in the room take a note. I think these are two very positive physical attributes of jewelry, and certainly jewelry will come back, and that's very interesting to understand how Maha have said they're adapting to the smaller size of pieces just to encourage that young millennial digital-friendly customers, but the expectation is that fine jewelry is not need-driven, it's more want-driven. And I'm sure once the wedding parties and events happen, they will rush back, and physical will be the name of the game. And I think to elaborate on that, let me bring Motaz. And I must tell you, if you have not seen their store in Madinah Zayed, it's a treat. You should go there in Abu Dhabi, have a look at the store. And the first picture what I show, it's multiple times bigger, So over to you, Motaz.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Amit. Thanks, everybody. Good morning, everybody, first of all. And I would like to thank my colleagues for they tackled many issues in these questions. So they left me with a little to involve with. But anyway, I would say always gold and jewelry is important. Today, the understanding of gold is based on a big history. And to involve with the history of the gold always passed through different stages in the world. I will call it pit holes or stumbled stages. But every time it has a special place in the world. Consider that all governments call it as a safe haven. And also people now today, with the knowledge they have regarding different assets, regarding different investments, still they see gold as a safe haven. Which means actually I would say will give us a prosperity, and strong prosperity in the market of jewelry. As Mr. Tawheed says about the start of the pandemic, people maybe we were hiding ourselves from the online storing. But based on the online storing, we were not, as you said, Mr. Amit, 2019, we were having a huge amount of people coming to the store. They don't want to go to the online storing. But online storing was feasible and accessible at that time of the pandemic, I would say. Today, when life starts to come back, we believe people still like to go to the exhibitions, would like to go to the shops, would like to wear the jewelry and test it before buying it, especially the heavy or the unique part of the jewelry. If you go with a little light information of the gold, of the necklaces or those short selling, those goes online usually. People were really shocked about the about the selling online because the studies shows in Europe and US that the shopping online increased, and during the pandemic, people instead of keeping money cash, they said we won't keep it in gold. So they're investing. They're not just wear it; they're actually investing. And the price of gold of ounce reached 2,000 at that time. And I always say that the gold price will keep rising. If we go in 2000, the ounce was $200. Today, it's 10 times. If we can compare it to other commodities, we need to have gold price even higher than this price. So the inflation we had in this gold price was still not yet happened. So we will have the inflation of gold price. This will increase to maybe in 10 years, I would say it will reach not less than 3,000 or 4,000. I'll be optimistic. I don't want to be rushing you guys, and the sales will come and go. It will grow. And I would like to end this with what my father says usually is the gold is a dormant and a safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Motaz, and I think that's certainly a forward-looking statement, and I think this panel talks about 10 years from now, and I'm sure I'll be active and healthy. I'm sure you'll be in the top of the game, and I'll write somewhere in an envelope the $8,000 figure and, come and discuss where things goes. But I think that's a very, very valid point if you compare to different commodities. And 2000 was not long ago. I remember when the gold was 200, everybody was saying it will become 150. And when it started going up, where we are today. So thank you, Motaz, for that interesting insight. Let me bring Colin by in the conversation and his thoughts and ideas on the consumption trends and jewelry next 10 years.
So thanks, Amit. And further to what I guess everyone said, and to look at 10 years hence, it would be interesting just to see what happened in the last 1 year. So if you take, and last Feb, we were, I guess, in this room. Samit, was it last February only when we were? Oh, November, okay. So a little earlier than that, and the mood was very different. And then the pandemic hit all of us in Feb, March, that period. And if you see the last 12 months, it's probably been, a year of turmoil, a year of hope, many different emotions. And if we recollect and, considering my role even as a counsel and meeting government, banks, industry people, last March in the lockdown in Mumbai, everyone was very worried that when the lockdown opens up, diamond prices would have crashed, gold would have crashed, it was ping-ponging all over the place. Stock market, everyone was very worried about. The dollar was going, haywire. Rupee, had a huge fluctuation in March. So when we look, and exactly now 1 year hence, gold has made like probably the best comeback ever, if you look at the last 10, 20 years, and further to what you said. Diamond prices actually, to the contrary, have become stronger. There's a shortage of goods in many, many colors, clarities, sizes. And believe it or not, every jewelry manufacturer, at least our part of the world in India, is on an expansion spree. There aren't enough talented workers available. Everyone's investing in CNC, casting, more 3D printers. So if you look in exactly 1 year, it's not only come back nicely, but it's come back extremely strongly. So having said that, everyone is very optimistic about the next decade. And interestingly, on a lighter note, in this pandemic, especially in our industry, and Amit, I don't know how relevant it is for the youngster in Dubai, but before the pandemic, a lot of jeweler children, the next gen, who studied in the US or UK or Australia, were all looking at doing investment banking or private equity or e-com or something in the digital world. But a lot of friends, children, and even generally, they've all now decided jewelry business is the future. And there's a reason for that, because what happened, and just to complete the story that maybe I'm trying to build over here, is they always thought that our business was fuddy-duddy, very old school, family, not digital enough. And in this pandemic, they've seen that their grandfather, father, everyone around them has adapted to the world of Zoom, video call, more digital. Everyone has become more savvy on Excel, PowerPoint, it's things like that. So they've adapted very nicely to, now thinking that there's even a future in the jewelry business, digital also. And further to that, working with retailers in many parts of the world, one trend that we are seeing for sure is omni-channel is here to stay. So whether you're a e-com player or you're a brick and mortar, business, it's more clicks and mortar. And people were saying it for a while, but now it's come in a very strong way where we see retailers and even manufacturers like ourselves investing very heavily in trying to build an omni-channel business. Because, it's not so easy. Like earlier, all of us used shows, travel, meeting our customer as a way of doing business. And today that's not there. And in spite of that, we have to keep our factories busy. I guess retailers have to keep the shops. So, everyone's adapted to an omni-channel business that's here to stay. In omni-channel, an interesting, byproduct of that, if I may say so, is storytelling is extremely important. Because if you're not able to tell the story in your omni-channel business, then you're not able to get that consumer in. It's not good enough just to have a nice piece of jewelry without a storyline. So a storyline has become extremely important for the omni-channel business. Having said that, another trend which we're seeing and which will probably escalate more because of the pandemic is everyone got into the habit of buying on Amazon, eBay, and seeing value in everything they buy. So I guess offering value in our jewelry will also be very important, because the consumer is now much more aware than what he or she was a year back. They've all spent much more time online. They know diamond prices, gold prices, labor. So now they're looking for an omni-channel presence with a story, but with value. And what makes it, I guess, extremely challenging for all of us, I guess, in this business is brand loyalty has gone away. A consumer today is, if the story is nice, if they like what they see, they're browsing online, they happen to go to the store. It's not like now they want to buy from the jeweler their mother bought from, or their aunt bought from, or the grandmother bought from. If they like something, if they see value in it, they're willing to buy. And just one last parting thought, I've taken maybe more time, Amit, than was for me, is that in all these storylines, what the consumer today, and I would say not only the millennial, but even say my generation or the generation before, is since we've seen what COVID has done to our world, we are all looking for buying things which are green, more eco-friendly, sustainable. If you see electronic cars are making a huge foray globally. So I guess in jewelry also, that will become an important part, whether you're using recycled gold, whether your diamonds are coming from an ethical pipeline. I guess that also will be a much stronger trend in the next few years. Thanks, Amit.
Thank you, Colin. I think very interesting to hear from Colin Bhai, and I think you summed up very well the answer.
Stop calling me Bhai.
Colin. Very interesting to hear from Colin that when we had the lockdown last year, when we were all going in with uncertainty, actually it was other way around, with diamond prices keeping stability, gold going to the new highs, and certainly the way and the combination of omni-channel with storytelling, with green, with value, and with brand loyalty not there, actually it means it's opened the doors for a lot of new players. I think that's a very interesting angle, Colin, you have presented. And on a personal anecdote, what you have mentioned regarding the next generation joining, I'll just share, and I'll put my daughter on spot. She's in the room. So she graduated 2017 from Bentley University, worked 2 years outside as a family business charter to work in United States and here. And in September 2019, she came under mentorship of my brothers Rohit and Manish, applied professionally to the company and said, I would like to lead an area or be part of an area which you are not too much focusing today, so I can show the differentiation. And we all certainly thought digital was one thing. We were hardcore brick and mortar, physical store, physical brand. So we said, digital is the area we are really not focusing. Why don't you look at it? And I must say then COVID hit in March, and this has been really one of the best growing and physically presence of Dhamani, which various points people have suggested. So really, that's a personal experience, Colin, which you shared. We are a living example of the good results on that side. So thank you on that. And let's get to Tamara to really hear from her side of story, how she did digital first and then brick and mortars, and what she see about the consumption.
Hello. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for having me, and it's such a delight to see all of you here, such creative and professional people. Firstly, I was a big believer of e-commerce, and when I studied, I was like, I never want to have my stuff in a store. I just want to be online, catering to people my age, my generation. 2 years after that, I realized that it's very difficult for high-end jewelry, which I was selling, and also there's no contact with the people that I'm trying to sell, and especially when I'm trying to sell a solitaire or a tennis bracelet. So it was really, really tough for me. Afterwards, I decided to venture and put my stuff in a store. And things have changed completely. I'm a people person by nature, so dealing with people, talking to them, getting to know them, you need to become friends with your customer. It's not just like you're going to sell them once, you need to build a relationship. So this really helped me after I have put my stuff somewhere. So yes, I still sell online, but only to other countries. But UAE, my customers come to me here.
I think fantastic. I think after a long time, I've met somebody who's online first and brick and mortar. Whenever I try to find ideas, everybody says, oh, we are losing out, we are missing online. And it's a good example of somebody in the room. And certainly she'll be around today. I'm sure it'll be interesting to understand and share ideas and learnings.
Maybe online works if you have simple chains, gold, not really when it comes to someone looking for high-end diamonds. People want to feel it, love it, buy it, get to know who's selling it.
Like Maha said, the price point pieces and all that stuff.
Yes, because they need to trust you.
Fantastic. So I think, let me bring to the second part of the session, which is how jewelry designers, manufacturers, and retailers, they should collaborate to enhance the consumer experience. And Tamjid, I want to start with you to see that what is the new direction? Is it a combination? Is it that an established retailer can do a jewelry week, invite 5 different designers to come to their mall store, physical present there, or collaborate with a designer to create a creation in her name sold by us as a physical store, or another kind of combination where our manufacturers make a unique line dedicated to a retail environment and develop it together. Where do you see all these things is going, and what is your view on that going forward?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a very interesting question. Today, if we look at jewelry per se, like jewelry is an ornament that the lady is wearing on her finger or her neck or her ears. Now, how do we reach to design jewelry? Today, jewelry is inspired by nature, by whatever, by a story, by flowers, by anything. Like you inspire and you look at yourself, you start drawing a design, then you start materializing this into a prototype. From prototype, you see how the feasibility of the jewelry product would be sellable, non-sellable, easy to wear, not easy to wear. Is the price suitable for the segment that I'm creating this line for? Therefore, today, again, the good or the bad good that we have gained in this pandemic is we have seen some new faces, new designers, new ideas coming into our platforms by youngsters that they have been, unfortunately, sitting back at home or studying online or working from home. They had enough time to explore their own designing talent that they have, and they have put it down on papers. And I had so many interactions with youngsters that they have came with some ideas, and we naturally gave them some guidelines of how to modify that, etc. And then we started manufacturing it for them and putting it forward. So today, I think the jewelers around the world, or the jewelry manufacturers around the world, today they are on a little bit of tight market because of the lack of traveling to their countries. Like I cannot fly, for example. I haven't left Dubai for a good year now. So these interactions that we used to have in the past has been a bit restricted. So the online, like we go back to the online business, now even we send our designs or the designs that we think are feasible or suitable, we send it to the manufacturers in other places of the world. They manufacture the prototypes and they send it over. It's taking a bit more time, but it's again achievable. Now, the way I see the collaboration with designers and manufacturers and retailers, of course, I see that exhibitions were a very big link that used to join all this. They used to join the designers, the manufacturers, and the end user at the same time, plus the retailer. So I think to close this link, I think we need to see what the future is for these exhibitions, or even to organize small exhibitions in the region where you could invite maybe 10, 20, 30 manufacturers, invite 50, 60 jewelers. Like we are here today, this is a very suitable size of hall, I would say, and people here are enough, there's enough distancing, plus we have all the precautions taken care of here. So I see that this is like a Catholic marriage between designers and manufacturers. So it is an ongoing story. It can be definitely, or the only way I see to enhance it is by this social communication, or through the social media, to interact with the manufacturers. At the same time, the interaction between the consumer and the jeweler.
Thank you. Thank you. I think very interesting word. Marriage between designers and manufacturers and front-end people, and small exhibitions are the way. I think that is very, very apt because customers are also enjoying this personalization to a different level. They are more loyal to a smaller group of people rather than overwhelming to the huge exhibition formats. And we certainly feel that even we all get vaccinated and world goes back to where it was. I think these are very, very interesting learning because of the segment and nature of a business, which is very personalized. I'm sure this is really like old days of private exhibition, private sales, where customers were special, they only saw those pieces. A very valid point. I think I want to bring Maha on this question because certainly as a design background, what is an ideal world? What do you look like? How, you have in this room people who are owning chain stores, single stores, large stores, manufacturers. You are a designer, unique designer. What is the ideal way you see going forward can be helpful for you and industry?
Okay, my story is really different because I have a unique store. So if I want to talk as a designer and an artist, when I went into the industry in the very beginning, it was a total mess because what I dream for is totally different in reality of what the industry is like. So if you want to produce a luxury piece, so you have to look at the market and understand it rather than have just an art piece that you're going to look at for such a long time, because my base is artist, so it was totally different. Then I learned that when I tried to manufacture in the very beginning my pieces, most of the factories, they struggle with it because they don't like to produce a unique piece. They want a mass product, so that was another struggle. Today, I understand the business more after passing through so many phases. I passed 20 years working in this industry, and I understand that it is a circle. So starting with the designer, ending to the consumer, the story has to be strong, and you have to go through the harmony of the relation with the factory, then to the retail. So if the consumer like the story, then it will be manufactured more in a mass product, then the retailer will be benefiting out of that. So starting, the story has to be strong. In the end, we're talking basically about the art and the story behind this art.
Thank you so much. I think very, very interesting. And very nice to hear from a designer, because sometimes we meet designers and they come back with this amazing fancy design in their mind and they put on a paper and they get adamant that this is the best-selling piece. And we have to really fight and struggle. Boss, all is fine. Consumer is not really interested. Make it practical, make it wearable. The jeweler cannot make it. Price is going high. So I think it's a very right to be practicality.
It's a business structure in the end. When I started working, I started as an artist. And I used to deal with art collectors. So still, I have clients who I consider them as art collectors, but jewelry collectors. So they like the unique pieces, but if I'm going to talk about the market in a big circle, the mass product is today, doing, basically it is the business. So if we talk about retail, then we are focusing on totally different strategy.
Thank you so much. And let's hear from Motaz. What do you think about this amalgamation or cooperation between the various ends for consumer experience?
Sure. And this matters, I would say, she elaborates more, Maha, in this area, and Mr. Saeed, but in my point of view, I would say the consumer leading the fashion. Usually we think that the artist and the designer, they lead the fashion usually. But in my perspective, I would say they do the design. They do many designs, like 5 to 10 designs. And then they choose one. Once the most sellers, like one of the 10 pieces they choose, they lead it. And then from there, the artists, they know the market taste. So you need to understand the market taste more than the actually you design. You can do a very nice artist, but you need to understand the culture, the heritage, the place, the environment, the way people wear for the weddings. It's something unique. You need to understand the type of dresses that are located for the jewelry. So you need to understand the whole picture before doing any design. The other thing is, I would say, cooperative between the designers and manufacturers in like dialogues, seminars, those kind of exhibitions like in Expo or in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai. Those big exhibitions brought all of those people together. And then from there they can see how the trend is going. And instead of the consumer leading, the graph should understand they should lead the fashion, not the other way around. But today we see that the consumer choose one type and they go through it. Once they go through it, then the artist realized that he needs to develop the artist to the second level and the third level. And the story is very important. So let me hand the story of any, I would say, unique design should have a really strong. Not any design should have a story, but as a settlement, I mean as a collection, probably it's important to have a story. And the story should go from back in the period. We see nowadays like this, I would say last year, Mr. Amit, we see that the people go back in history and look into the artists of the back history. So always there is a trend, even it will go back. Even you do something today, it doesn't take the trend, but maybe after 5 years it will take the trend. So there is no time for the collection. You need to be patient. That's one of my suggestion, and collaborate more, and hopefully all the best for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Motaz. I think that's a very interesting point you made. Consumer leading the fashion, and then artists adapting to it. I think is a very, very practical suggestion, and certainly this is where more and more in-depth in terms of what really is selling in the market, what really people like it. And the other point you made is about knowing of culture, heritage, and choices. This is a key. A same country, a customer for wedding is a different, and a traditional piece is a different, and an expat is a different. So if you are looking up to pick up your choices, you should know the culture and the choices of those. Thank you, Motaz, for that. And let's hear from Colin, and coming back from multiple dimensional background, what forward-looking collaborations he envisages or he suggests or he thinks can be unique for our industry, and we can see some positive traction going forward.
So there'll be, I guess, several kinds of collaborations. One is coming from, I guess, further to what our fellow panelists also said, is personalization. So in this whole, I guess, journey of personalization, what a consumer is trying to do is self-expression, or it's basically just, even celebrating their milestones. So what will be a real requirement over here is for celebrating their milestones and expressing themselves, but in a unique fashion. They will need some designer who can do that for them. But then the designer will also have to commission those pieces with a manufacturer or a retailer or any kind of, so I guess that whole part will become an important part in the coming future. One is, this whole, and I guess Tamara was saying it earlier, that, earlier you had men and women coming for shopping, and now it's only the woman without the man. So the woman's coming, and I'm assuming that she's coming because she knows what she wants. And I guess personalization will become a larger part of it, if not today, because everyone wants something unique. So I guess, Amit, that will be a larger part of the collaboration. Having said that, in commissioning pieces, I guess, and what we are seeing at the manufacturing end, whether it's diamonds or jewelry or gemstone, is tech is becoming an important part. And there's a lot of manufacturing happening now where the tech part is unique to a manufacturer, because everyone doesn't have access to the same tech, or they haven't mastered their art at it. So I guess that collaboration of a designer with a manufacturer who is specialized in some kind of tech is going to be, I guess, the future. So just to give you an example again, whether it's stamp chains, but unique kind of stamp chains, and again, where personalization and customization is becoming a larger part of it, whether it's CNC, even in casting, whether it's 3D printing. There's so much which has happened in the tech world in the last 2-3 years, especially because of the advancements made on phones. So a lot of tech is coming from, making parts smaller, more precise, more unique, and jewelry adaptations are coming in quite rapidly. So I think that part of it will become more and more important in the coming years.
Thank you, Colin. I think I have jotted down your word, journey of personalization. I think that'll be key, celebrating the milestones, expressing through the means of design. All of this will be the key. And certainly what you touched on is unique use of tech. Because many times we know there is 3D, there is CNC, there is so on and so forth, but how a manufacturer uses the tech and apply through the design creativity, I think is a game changer. And I think more and more, certainly we are looking as this part of the world is also happening. And we certainly feel that will be the differentiator as we go forward. Last but not the least, we have Tamara on this final thoughts and before I wrap up. So Tamara.
I have a little different approach. I just want to say that the relationship between the manufacturer and the designer is extremely important, because without the manufacturer and the craftsman, which we really do overlook his importance, there is no designer. For example, as a designer, as an artist, we come up with these whimsical art pieces that, as you said, that can't even be manufactured. So I have the craftsman aiding me, I have the manufacturer aiding me that this can be done, this can't be done, giving me better options, giving me better solutions. So a craftsman's job and a manufacturer's job is extremely important, and as important as a designer. And this is something that people really do overlook. It's not just the person who draws it, it's the person who really puts the effort in making it.
I think that's again a very, very touching and personalized comment you made at the end. The jewelry is all about the personal emotion. It starts from the pencil or a 3D, from a design perspective, from a designer who's drawing, his expression of his thoughts and ideas through the ideas of fashion and trends, by the various ways of personalized meeting, exhibition, events, surveys, so on and so forth, digging down to unique manufacturing by using unique tech ways through 3Ds, through CNC and so on and so forth. And along the way to make sure that all is threaded with an amazing personal story, a personal message, which is actually meaningful for customers' milestones, customers' journey, customers' events, customers' occasion. And if you really see the whole gamut of things, in totality, what we are trying to do as industry is we are celebrating customers' moments. If you really see at the end, the jewelry is all about celebrating moments and events of customers' life and customers' journey. And we are all part of that creation. And the way we are looking, and this panel has come to a conclusion that certainly physical brick and mortar is there to stay. Digital personalization, digital transformation is very important to bring the people to the store, even to doorstep for high-end jewelry. Customer would like to know more about you, even you are present or not present. And even the technology, the brand loyalty is going less, which is opening the doors for many, many new customers to come to many, many new players. I think this is a very interesting part, that our industry is opening arms and doors to even young startups who are looking to create new pieces, new design. And through this all collaborative way or approach our industry has been, we certainly feel that where we are today and in 1 year time of COVID, we as industry have really stabilized. We have learned a lot in terms of getting our strengths together and trying to look at the next 10 years, which is a combination of everything. I would like to thank this amazing panel for their time and inputs and suggestions, and the audience to be such a great audience. We are looking forward for a great day of interesting panels and more of learning. You know, while I'm sitting here this side comfortably as moderator, I'm already making all the notes of what all everybody's saying, and I'm sure Amit, we will all jot it down and share with the attendees and beyond to really see what we can learn from each other and collaborative way of going forward. Thank you everybody and have a great day.
Thank you so much. That was truly, truly interesting. But I want to request all our distinguished panelists and our moderator to kindly pose for a group photo op. I'm going to request you all to come 3 steps ahead, everyone in a straight line. 3 steps ahead. Yes. Yes, please. So we take this wondrous opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. May I please request each and every one of you to once again put your hands together for Mr. Tamjid Abdullah, the Deputy CEO, Jawhara, Ms. Maha Al Sibai, founder and jewelry designer, Maha Al Sibai Jewellery, Ms. Tamara Al Shamari, the founder and jewelry designer, TAAIA Jewellery, Dr. Motaz Al Shueibi, the owner of Salem, Al Shueibi and Mr. Colin Shah, the founder and managing director of Kamaschachter. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, Mr. Amit Dhamani. Thank you so much. That was absolutely brilliant towards the beginning. And what a great kickstart. And I'm going to congratulate your daughter as well. You said she's around. And where are you? You want to say a big hi? So we're going to definitely ask you who's been your inspiration. Is it dad, or is it that dad gets inspired by you? So I'm going to ask you that very soon. Thank you very much.